Hi, welcome back for day 4 of Christy's 30 Days of Sketches. And today we are looking at circular or patterns behind our cluster of photos. And so I decided it was a good time that I could grab a 6x6 paper pad and try and use some of that up. So I'm taking these two photos that I have of a monument that's in front of San Antonio, the Alamo, and I'm just going to scrapbook those for my flight attendant album that I have. Now, because I'm using the 6x6 paper pad, other than my white cardstock, I don't have a full piece of paper to have a bigger mat like the sketch has. So I decided that I was going to piece together some of these 6x6 papers to make a bigger mat underneath. And I tried to pick ones that were a little bit more subtle so that I could have my title go on it and the title wouldn't like blend totally into the background of the paper. So then, because the sky is so bright blue, I was trying to find a little bit more of the colors of this Dear Lizzie paper pad. It's her, I believe it's Happy Days. Let me double check. Nope, Lovely Days. It's the Lovely Day paper pad. And so I'm just going to go through and pick out a handful of different colors that match that sky, but also that watercolor paper that's behind the right-hand photo. So I'm going to go ahead and pick these two as the background. I'm grabbing that yellow that I'm going to use for the banner. And I wasn't sure if I would need a bigger piece, and I was able to use just one 6x6, or it's a 1.5 inch wide by 6 inch piece, and then I went and cut it in half so it would spread across the page. I put the other 1.5 inch strip up above, but I end up not using that in the end. I'm just going to put that to the side eventually. And now I'm going through and grabbing all of the different punches that I have in various sizes, and I'm just punching out the different colors. Now I don't have a great big one like that's in the sketch, and I could have gotten out my dies or my Cricut, but I was being lazy, so I just grabbed the punches that I had at hand, and so I'm going to actually punch out more than what the actual sketch shows. So this is one way that you can tweak a sketch to work for you. The sketches are a jumping off point to help you not have to think so much, but then you have to use your tools that you have. So if you don't have a circle punch, you could use a cup or a plate or a bowl, any kind of a circular element, trace behind it on the back side of the paper, and then fussy cut it out. You could also use a doily as a circular element. You don't have to necessarily use pattern paper, and you don't have to do it the sizes that are in the sketch. So all I wanted was a diagonal of the circles that matched the sketch. So I went ahead and cut out a bunch, and then I decided I needed a little bit, one more strip underneath where the banner is. In the sketch it shows another strip of paper or ribbon or something. So I did grab out my washi, and I grabbed one that had like colorful cameras on it. So I am going to put a little bit of that underneath. Now I'm going to start gluing everything down just because I can't stand when everything starts shifting. And I'm going to start at the top and kind of layer it on and then fit everything in underneath. So now that I know where the pictures are going to be, now I'm going to glue the banner underneath, because that's the next layer. And so I glue that to each side. And then the next one will be the variegated, like rainbow colored paper, the kind of as a watercolorish look. And I'm going to glue that to the back of my photo and line that up where I want that to go. And then I'll go with the white with the black florals will be the next one I'll glue down. And then I'll decide I don't want that yellow one. I just didn't like the edges it was leaving, and I didn't want the step down look, and I could have played with it more, and I just decided not to go with it. So now that I like how my layers look, I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the background. And I try and keep the adhesive kind of to the center, so if I want to tuck anything in, it's easy to get it in behind. So I like where that's at, and now I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing down all the circles that I punched out, and then maybe punch a couple more. Here's where I'm putting that washi tape in. I thought of going over the top of it at first, and I didn't like how it looked, so I will go back and tuck that underneath. And there we go. And now I'm just, like I said, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to start gluing the circles down. I'm going to try and not have any of the circles that are the same size or the same pattern be next to each other, and I try and spread them up. I'm having the two clusters, the one that's in the upper left hand corner and one in the bottom right hand corner, and I try and spread it out so that none of the colors kind of are together. So while I'm doing this, make sure that you do go and check out the description box below. It will have the links to everyone who's participating with the sketches today on the 4th. And as I've said in the past, Christy will be doing all 30 days. So make sure that you check out her channel and give her some love for coming up with this idea. I believe this is the 6th time that she's done 30 days of sketches, and it's just amazing the amount of work that she puts in to get all these sketches up. So kudos to her. And like I said, not everyone is following along every day, so the list could change from day to day. So just make sure you check that out. Also, if you haven't been a subscriber of mine, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Just click the subscribe button down below and give me a thumbs up if you end up liking the video, so that others know on YouTube that you enjoyed this video. Now at the end of this, when I'm just finishing up the title, my memory on my phone got full and it cut off, but you really didn't miss anything, and in the close-ups you'll see the final layout and how I have the title and everything glued down, but for the most part you will see everything in the video. It just cuts off abruptly. So I'm almost done with punching out and gluing down all of my circles. A few of them I have overlap, some I have run off the page. I'm going to cut another one in blue to try and get a little bit more blue up, and I didn't like how it was a little bit of empty space in the upper left. And what you can do is you can cut half a circle, and that's what I'm going to do here. Since I know I want it to go off the page, there's no reason to cut a full circle, and so then it just pops on like that. So now to give it a little bit more oomph, because I'm not used to having white backgrounds, I usually try and use pattern paper for a background. So to me it's just kind of looking plain. I'm going to take my black pen and I'm just going to go ahead and circle around each of these I'm going to trace around each of these circles to kind of have them pop off the page. So I'll do that for all of them. And then after I get done with that, I will go and do just a wonky border with my pen again, all the way around, just to kind of bring that whole look in. And I'm trying to concentrate with circular elements like what is in the sketch, because pretty much everything, there's not really much embellishment. The only thing that's in the sketch is the circles and then a few scatterings of stars. And I like how that's just a nice simple clustered look, but I still, because of my style, want it to kind of pop off the page a little bit. So I'm almost done with that. And now I'm going to go ahead and do that border. After I'm done with my border, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my sticker books that I have, and I'm going to look for my Dear Lizzie one. And I just want a few little things to sprinkle along with the circles that are punched out. And since I'm using the Lovely Days 6x6 paper pad, I kind of wanted to stick with the same color tones, so I went for that Dear Lizzie sticker book that I have. And in the book, I'm able to find a few stickers that I'm going to use. And I tried again to stick with the circular look, so I grab one that is a little cluster of like pink and blue flowers, and then I find another one that has a little pink camera on it. I find one that has an at sign or an and sign, and then I find one that has a little phrase that says, "Give today the chance to be the best." And so since it was kind of a traveling layout and looking at people that were at their best, I kind of thought it was appropriate. And then I do find that arrow that says cool, because it really is a cool monument. When you look at the relief patterns, it's somebody did a beautiful job with their art. That is going to move, and that's part of, I can't remember if that got cut off or not. When I end up going and putting the word it's cenotaph, it's Cenotaph, and I'm assuming that's the type of art that was used to make the memorial, but that's the name of it. It's Alamo Cenotaph, and so that's what I wanted to name it. So I'm not going to put Alamo on there because this is going to go with all of my other Alamo pictures, so it doesn't necessarily need to be said. But I'm going to switch the spots of the title and that word cool. I found these navy blue stars, and I used up the whole row and just sprinkled those down on the diagonal. And then the next thing I'm going to do after I get done sprinkling all these and getting the stickers on, I'm going to grab out my Heidi Shine or Heidi Swap Color Shine in navy, and I will sprinkle that also on the diagonal. I'm going to do that in just a second. And here I go. And then that just kind of gives it, again, sticking with that circular kind of a look, and then again pulling out that blue because I wanted to, it's, even though it's navy, it kind of mimics that bright deep blue of the sky. So now that I have that on, I'm going to go grab the Dear Lizzie thickers that I have, and I'm just going to again spell out the cenotaph, and it doesn't fit, so again it cuts off, but I will end up switching the word cool, and then the cool will actually run off the page. I do have close-ups at the end so you can see how it looks after it's finished. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it, and stop back again tomorrow. Again, my plan is to try and play along with Christy for the 30 days if it all works out, and so far I'm going strong. So you all have a wonderful, happy day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much.